Hi, welcome to FedScoopTV. I'm Colby Hockmuth. I'm sitting here with John Inkso, Director of North America Sales at Enterprise DB. Thanks for joining us, John.
Thank you for having me.
Great. I'm going to start off with, what are some of the trends you're seeing in open source technology?
It's been pretty interesting, Colby, after the last couple of years. I mean, a couple of things we've seen is obviously virtualization has been a big thing in the environment, and then really from virtualization to the cloud, right? Everybody talks about the cloud, and the cloud really has created kind of a new mass of, I'll say, new customers or customers kind of moving up in their technology space. We introduced a cloud product in the database world about 18 months ago and has been widely accepted, so that's another trend that we really see. And then the third trend I would tell you about is just mission critical. So we use a company called Tech Validate that does a lot of customer research for us, and the highest number of applications being converted today to open source in the database world are mission critical applications, which is just a huge trend for me as I kind of look at the growth of the database in the open source market.
Right. And so what are some areas in the government where you've seen the quickest adoption of open source technology?
Yeah, good question. We have a couple good partners that have helped us, and so I'll kind of preface my answer with, Red Hat has been a great partner of ours. Our executives are from Red Hat, and they've really kind of brought us into the space. If you think about the Red Hat space, they're in that kind of middleware space, and we're the database that comes after the middleware. So we've been fortunate that they've brought us into some very interesting customers, and then Carahsoft, carrying our GSA schedule, has led us to really see kind of DISA, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. So kind of that DoD space has been really viable for us. We're now starting to get into the intel space and the civilian space, but that really has been our fastest growth. And then recently we were just recognized by the Gartner Magic Quadrant as being now the leader in the database space, kind of going after we're the challenger going after the leaders, but we're the number one challenger in that space. So we think that growth will continue and kind of spread out now amongst some of the other agencies in the government.
Right. And so what can the private sector learn from the way that government has adopted open source technology?
You bet. I'm fortunate enough to run both sides of our business in North America, and a couple things that has impressed me about the government. One, just the amount of volume that they've had in terms of embracing the technology from a business standpoint and an IT standpoint. And really kind of also then going right for mission critical applications to use our technology is just amazing for me to watch. And then two, the amount of security, clearance, networking, kind of best of breed policies and procedures that aren't really done yet in the commercial space. So the government really has a head up on what's going on there in terms of the security piece.
Right. So looking forward, how do you see open source technology adoption sort of evolving over the next few years?
I think the evolution is going to continue to get faster, right? And because of the cloud, because of projects like OpenStack, that really allows kind of the cloud and open source to almost become married. And so now I can run an instance, I can bring a database in literally minutes and be up and running with a full application. And now with something like OpenStack, I can literally pull cartridges off and kind of plug them into my stack, which a couple years ago was unheard of. So the amount of change, the amount of evolution is almost going to become the norm. Open source, because of our ability to react quickly, will become even quicker now with the technology around us. And some of the bigger vendors like an IBM or an HP now kind of adopting us as the database piece of their stack. That just helps in terms of kind of getting the message out on open source and the technology piece.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, John.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is FedScoopTV. I'm Colby Hockmuth.